All right. Good morning, team. Justin Dunaway here with the Institute of Clinical Excellence, bringing you another PT on Ice Daily Show, Clinical Tuesday episode. Before I dive into today's topic, I want to thank everybody who has been super excited about continuing education in 2021. Our courses are selling out fast, live and online. If you're interested in jumping back into continuing education this year, I would jump on our website and take a look because our courses are filling up quick. There is a lot of excitement about getting back into learning this year. Also, Morgan Denny of our primary care PT division has just released a new mini self-study course called the PT Management of the Post-COVID Patient. Team, this doesn't matter what setting we're in. We're going to be seeing these patients. There's a ton of them. They're going to be in the clinic, and there is tons of gems packed into this little course. Lots of stuff that I had no idea about that needs to be on our radar. This is a course that's going to have a lot of value to just about everybody listening to this. So get on, check this thing out. There's a lot of magic in there. All right. I want to dive into today's topic. Why be about it? At ICE, we have a saying. It's a very simple saying. And it's simply be about it. And this saying is fundamental to the core of who we are at ICE. We absolutely believe that the stuff that we're preaching in every course, the stuff that we're preaching to patients in the clinic, the stuff that's coming out of our mouths every day, it has to be entrained in who we are. We have to embody it. It has to be a fundamental piece of us on a personal level. We have to be about it. And I've been thinking a lot lately about why. Why is this so important to us? What does it really mean? And there was a post on social media a while back from a different organization, not ICE, that sort of got me thinking about this. And it was pretty edgy. It was pretty heated, and the thread quickly devolved into a pretty nasty dumpster fire, like most social media posts. But I want to read you the quote because this is sort of what got me thinking down this train a bit. So. And again, this wasn't an ICE post, this was another organization, but it says a physical therapist or other rehab professional that doesn't ever squat, deadlift, sprint, swing a kettlebell is like a mechanic who only drives their car 30 miles an hour. Hard to give advice on exercise when you don't have any practical experience pushing your own body. This came from Squat University. Some people love them, some people hate them. I don't want to dive into this specific debate, but it certainly triggered a lot of people, and like I said, it got pretty heated. But it really got me thinking about this idea of, do you have to do the thing to teach the thing? I want to share with you some of the stuff that I personally believe. First off, I do not believe that you, me, or any of us have to be able to squat 300, 350, 400 pounds, deadlift 500 pounds. I don't think that we all need to be in a CrossFit gym 7 days a week. I don't think that we all need to be doing a century ride every Sunday or be able to run sub 7-minute miles for a 10K or be a V6 boulder in the bouldering gym or any of this stuff. I believe that we should have a thing that we really enjoy, and we dive into that. I think that's super important for humans. But I think that as conservative management specialists, we should play with all these things, without doubt. We should have experience lifting heavy. We should have experience with some Olympic lifts. We should play in a bouldering gym every once in a while. We should get on that bike. We should go for a run. We should hit the track and do some sprints. We should have this massive toy box of things that we've dabbled in because we're movement enthusiasts. We're super excited about this stuff. And the more stuff that we have experience with, the more patients that we have the ability to connect to when they come in, because we see value in all of it, so we can help them get more excited about their thing. That's super important. I also believe, at a minimum, and this isn't just for physical therapists, this isn't just for conservative management specialists, this is for all healthcare providers of any type, of any level. At a minimum, we have to hit the CDC guidelines for movement. We have to. What is it? That's 150 minutes of mild to moderate or 75 minutes of moderate to vigorous cardiovascular activity or some combination of both, plus at least 2 days of strength training a week, every week, forever. The days of us being the cardiologist smoking on lunch break are over. right? We know too much about the value of exercise and the risks of not doing it. If you're 40 minutes or less and you're compared to somebody that's 150 minutes or more, their risk of all-cause mortality is 70% less. 70%. That is massive. We know that almost 10% of all healthcare costs are attributed to physical inactivity. Healthcare providers must embody this. We have to get moving at the minimum those requirements, without a doubt. I also believe that when we look at the evidence on the specific things that we should do with patients, it's pretty unclear. Do I manipulate or mobilize? What about needling? What about this specific exercise versus this exercise? What about this condition versus this condition? Like, it's all pretty back and forth, and we can find really anything in the literature to support or refute whatever. But what is quite clear in the literature from the 10,000-foot view is the massive benefit of exercise and its dose-response relationship. Any exercise is good. The more you do, the better your health outcomes. We know that sleep is super important. We know that mental health is super important. We know that socialization is super important, that diet. These are literally the only real magic bullets. And we should invest in these things. We should lean into these things. These should be a massive part of our lives and a massive part of our practice. That is the one thing that is very clear in the evidence. And the flip side is also true too. When these metrics are off, the humans are generally unhealthier. And our goal for everybody is to make you happy, healthy, more resilient, better quality of life. These are the targets. And fundamentally, just like at ICE, I believe that we have to be about it. These things that are so important to the health of our society have to be ingrained in our daily behaviors. Not just because as healthcare professionals we need to be healthy, because we care about health so that we should care about our own health, but almost more importantly, for the success of our patients. And here's why. There's this study that when I read it, it kind of blew my mind. I love it. I think about it all the time. It's called Socially Transmitted Placebo Effects. It's from Chen et al. Came out in 2019. And it's really kind of it's a report on a series of experiments and sort of the outcomes of these. But the basic gist, and I'm paraphrasing a bunch here, but the basic gist of sort of the overreaching arch of the study was they took a bunch of people and they split them into two groups. And you were either randomized to be the fake physician or you were randomized to be the fake patient. And the fake physicians were trained to give an experimentally induced pain and get your pain rating, and then apply a topical analgesic, and then get your pain rating again, or burn you again, get your pain rating again. Right? So the patients are in one area, the physicians are in the other room. Physicians go in the room, they open the card, and it says the real cream, right? Because they're testing a real cream or a placebo cream. So you get the real topical analgesic, you walk into the room, burn the patient, they say 5 out of 10, you put the analgesic on them, burn them again, they say 3 out of 10. Awesome. Walk out of the room, pull the next card, it says, get the fake stuff. So you grab the placebo cream, you walk into the next room, burn them, 5 out of 10, put the placebo cream on, burn them again, 5 out of 10, right? That makes sense. The real cream had a much better effect than the fake cream. The patients were blinded to whether it was real or fake. The providers, the fake physicians, were not. Now here's the hook, and this is the part that I love. Both creams were fake. We just lied to the physicians. We told them that the jar A was real, jar B was fake, but both were fake. What happened was the physician walked in the room with intent, with belief that the thing that they were providing had value, and their patients did better. And then when they walked in the room believing that the thing in their hand was fake, not having a deep belief in the thing that they were about to provide, the patients didn't do as well. And it wasn't just subjective pain rating. Skin conductance changed. They had like this camera that measured, They had this camera that measured, got excited. They had this camera that measured facial expressions that relate to pain. And the facial expressions matched the placebo and the fake placebo and real placebo trials. And when they talked to the patients about the experience in the trials where the patients received the fake placebo, they would report that their physician, their provider, was less empathetic based on various body postures and facial expressions and things like that. If you deeply believe in the thing you're doing, your patients will pick up on that. And if you don't, if you walk into a room without that intent, if you walk into that room and you don't believe intrinsically, if it's not coming out of your pores that this is a thing that's important, your patients will pick up on that too. If you're not buying what you're selling, your patients will never buy it either. And this is why it's so important. This is why it's so important for us to not just prescribe these things, but to practice these things. And I'm not saying that we go into the room and we say, all right, John, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. This is my routine every day. This is what you should do. It's important to me. We don't have to do that. If these are the things that are ingrained in who we are, it just comes through. The patients, there's something about the energy, there's something about the way we move, there's something about the energy in our bodies when we talk about things that we believe are important, that are important to us, that come through in that engagement, that help to sell the product to the patient. So the challenge, the things that I try to ask myself questions all the time to kind of think about and keep myself on track about this stuff. You know, I put myself in the patient's shoes. If I had John's profile, if I had John's history and story, if I had checked the same boxes on the intake form that John did, if I had the same complaints as John, would I be doing or making the changes that as a provider I'm prescribing to him? Or would I be doing something different personally? If so, why? Am I addressing lifestyle stuff with every patient? Like I said earlier, we know that all these things are the magic bullet. Am I talking about these things with the patient? My 9 o'clock, yeah. My 10 o'clock, I didn't talk about this stuff. I didn't ask these questions. Why? Step back and think about that. What was the difference between the two, and why was there a mismatch in what we did? Am I prescribing behaviors or exercises or things in a way to patients that I don't necessarily believe in, that I wouldn't be doing if I was the patient? Or the flip side of that, are there things in my life personally that I think are super important to health, that are part of my daily routine, that I get excited about, that I think are really the keys to my health, that I'm not sharing with my patients, that I'm not ingraining into my practice? Why? And if so, let's think about those discrepancies. At the end of the day, team, what this Chen study shows us, and lots of other psychological research shows us, is that the things that we believe intrinsically as providers, our patients will mimic those beliefs without us even telling them. There's this weird transmission from human to human about beliefs, right? So for us to really sell this stuff to patients, we have to be about it. So I guess the last belief here, the last thing is that I fundamentally, to the core of my being, and same as all the people at ICE, believe that the first step in helping somebody change behavior, change lifestyle, change trajectory, change path, the first step in that is for me to be about it, to make these things an intrinsic part of who I am, my behavior, my belief structure. And as I embody that in the room, it's much easier for the patient to pick up on that as well. All right. Thanks, team, for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time. Have an awesome day.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.